Oy'Nissh, millennial Jamaican name, food, and language.
Hi everyone, Oy'Nissh, or welcome to another Oy'Nissh vlog. In this video, I'll be foraging for raspberry or disproy in the Craigmillar Castle Park area, but I'll be going on the Little France Park region to forage for it. In an earlier video, I'd foraged for disproy or raspberry along the Innocent Path, but I didn't fill the container because I needed was to leave sufficient raspberry for others to forage for. Now I'm going to see if I can get some more to fill the container in the Little France Park of the Craigmillar Park region. So journey along with me as I go forage for wild raspberries during summer. Thank you. Okay, so my journey starts here at the sign, one entrance to the Greater Craigmillar Castle Park region. I'm approaching the foraging ground from this part of the park, so I'll be passing the Craigmillar Castle. And I tend to, as I mentioned in an earlier vlog, that I tend to keep all the recordings of the foraging experience, including the walks and so forth. It's just to give people an idea of the time involved in foraging, the distance that's covered during a foraging time, because if I'm to edit out all the footage, it means that you probably only get 10 or 15 minutes of the foraging without getting the journey of the foraging process. So I think that's good to include. Now you don't get to see my face all the time because I'm wearing the Head Pro, and it's a lot more flexible to forage with both hands while using the camera. So if there's any discrepancy in terms of shooting from above, bear with me as I master the art of vlogging or recording a vlogging experience. Now the weather is good for foraging, so it's ideal time, and summertime I believe is best in the UK to be out foraging. Autumn isn't bad. Winter, there's not much to forage for. Spring, yes, but it can be cold and icy and wet sometimes. But the summer have been good so far. Plenty of sunshine, rain too, so that the grass doesn't go too dry as it did last year. And the latter rain helps in the ripening of the fruit, or at least add sufficient juice, especially to the straw raspberries. Because I remember last year, many of the raspberries lack sufficient water content, and they start to dry out and rotten around the edges of the fruit. But this year it's not too bad because all that rain that we're fortunate to have in Scotland helped to add the added moisture. This also helps with cherry or rhuproi to give it that extra water content, which is good, I think. So I'm expecting at least half decent raspberries in the Little France part of the park. And there is the castle. Craigmillar Castle in all its glory. Craigmillar Castle. So the park is on the part I'm going to forage for is on the other side of the road, on the other side of the second wall. So I'll enter it from just up here. Unfortunately, I can't say I've seen plenty raspberries on this side. It's possible they are there, but I haven't located them. But on that side, yes. Blackberries on this side, definitely. Loads. Cherries, not so much. But on this side, on the Little France Park side, it's very blessed with abundance of spring wild leek, ground elder, and nettle. And during summer, cherries, wild cherries, and raspberries. If I'm lucky, I might see some miniature strawberries, but that would be a plus if there's any there. We'll see. So now, this is the Little France Park of the Greater Craigmillar Park area. And here's a cherry tree, but it's finished. The birds have gotten to it. This one too, it's all gone. But there are plenty of cherry trees in this region, though they are small. But the focus is on raspberry or disproy. And I like how they've done up the park with pathways all over, cycling paths and so forth, which wasn't the case. It used to be just all dirt and mud, but now they've made decent paths. So it's very popular for joggers, walkers, for and so forth. And myself, the forager. So welcome to the journey, the raspberry or disproy journey in the Little France Park area. Now, we won't get any raspberries here, but chances are I might run into some wild strawberries. Let me see. I'll leave the wild strawberries just now and focus on the raspberry, just to get that out of the way. Okay, so first things first, a little track and trail through the woodland. I love Scottish woodlands. I love generally woodlands wherever they are. It's just so peaceful, and just listen to the birds singing in the tree, chirping away for you and me. This sense of song coming on. Right, raspberries. Hopefully there are raspberries. Sometimes they can be less than you've expected or more. So we'll see. Just look at this, nature at its best. Huh? This is what I love about foraging. But also I am big on walking, nature walking. So you'll probably see some of my vlogs that's dedicated to walking. In it, there's not much commentary, but I tend to leave the natural ambience to be the vlog itself. No additional music, no nothing, just walking. And I think it helps for people who are stressed out and want to de-stress. Walking is good, and an environment like this is great. Obviously, you have to think about your own protection, especially if you're a female. You know, if you want to toggle along with your husband, boyfriend, whatever the case may be, or in groups, you know. So just think about your safety, that's all. But other than that, at least in this part of the world, it's quite nice and safe, so that's a plus. So everybody should be out foraging, you know, families. You know, when you go for walks, get a little container so you can get some fruits, and also let the kids pick some too. Let them get used to eating seasonal wild stuff. I guess that helps to create a balance with all the junk food sometimes, and that's what worries me, because we know the junk food, I mean, having a little of it from time to time doesn't fill you up with loads of calorie, you know. But I mean, if it's consistent and you're always on the phone or sitting on the couch, chances are, you know, the kids will get obese. So an activity like this, when you've got time on the weekend or whenever, you and the kids, you know, go foraging, pick fruits, things like that. And on a nice sunny day, it's quite ideal. So they're getting both exercise, learning to appreciate foraging, and picking seasonal stuff. However, just be mindful when you're picking your fruit. If you're going to eat it straight there, make sure there's no insect on it. Brush off any insect that's on it. Look for extra debris. If there's extra debris on it, keep it in the container and take it home and wash. Everything can be washed, you know, so don't be put off. It's in the open after all. Now it's peak time for raspberries, so I'm expecting raspberries to be ready for picking in this region, with some to be available in the next 2 weeks or so. But I'm just guessing at the moment because I'm not actually at the site. So let me just check around here, and this should give me a better indication of what's available. And there's a cat. Okay, so that's good. So I've come up on some raspberries, so that's a plus. Naturally, I would imagine if anything, birds will start eating some of them. But yes, we've got plenty of raspberries. That's good. Let me see if I can take the head pro off and give you a closer look. So as you can see, we've got raspberries. Here's another raspberry here. It's nice looking display. And we've got it's all there. And there are some at the back, as you can see along, which there have to be a path. Yes, as you can see, someone have already made a path, a foraging path. Yeah. Let's see what's available on this side. There's the burnt out bike, yes. There's not any, just those are blackberries. So we've got some more here. Yeah. And even in between, always check. Sometimes you don't see them directly on the surface. You have to push the plants apart, and you'll be able to see more of it. As you can see, yeah, it's just fine. There's some in that area there. And there's not much here. Well, here's another entrance to the old football field of the Villabray, it's not Villabray, Casper High School. And here's a path. Here we go. So here we've got some more raspberries. Yeah. So spot on. Some part of the bush of branches. So there's no shortage of raspberries. So hopefully I'll be able to fill my container quite easily and leave enough for others. So apparently there's a second entrance to the football field, the old Casbury High School. So this is the other entrance. So I'll probably just start from this end, seeing that I'm here. Give me a second, let me put it the GoPro on my head. Okay, so I'm going to start the Little France Park foraging for raspberries. I noticed that we've got some over on this. I've access to some over on this side, so and they look quite big. Let me just see the size of it. So this one isn't a bad size. I don't know if you can see it properly. Probably have to put the camera down a bit. It's a balance in not getting the camera at the right angle sometimes when foraging. I haven't fully mastered the art of it, but with more practice, I guess. Oh, I've just lost a big one. Oh, it's a nice juicy one. Good. This one is just melting away. Gosh. Yeah. Quality assurance test. Okay. So now, advantages of foraging. I didn't make mention of some in another vlog in terms of exercise, getting kids used to eating seasonal by eating organic stuff. But also a great way for family to spend time together doing things. But in terms of mental health, foraging is quite relaxing, especially in a day like today where it's sunny, nice and bright. It's not overly hot. It's therapeutic, and I guess for people with depression and stuff, this is a good way of not so much curing but coping with depression, I would say. I would imagine there are many things involved in getting past depression, but for coping mechanism, I think this is one way to do so, because what it does is give you time out in nature with the birds singing and all that, and just being around a nice environment. Obviously it's bushy, so you might not regard it as nice, but it's just the pleasantry of it all. There's not much traffic, like in a foraging place like this. You don't get much traffic, and except for the on the main the road just across there, where you might hear the odd car passing. Other than that, you're just out here in nature. So I believe it does help with mental health, you know, to help you to de-stress. Yeah, what's your thought? I don't know if anyone have tried walking, foraging, stuff like that, if it does help with coping with depression. Anyone with experience? You can let me know. And the good thing, it's free. You don't have to wait on the NHS to recommend anything. You don't have to pump additional medication into your system. All you have to do is just walk, enjoy, you know. Let me go around to the other side. But I suppose for people who watch a lot of television, especially with Netflix and all these things available now, you have to be strong to break the cycle of lying on the couch or so, staying at home, staying depressed, and come foraging. You'd have to make that step. I think that's the first step of faith, that you have to just get up and go. And foraging helps that, because chances are you go home tired and you go for a sleep after a while. It could be that after you come from work, or if it's a day off and you finish your chores. Yeah, but pardon me. Chances are, if you're home and you're depressed, getting out and doing something like this sort of break that cycle. And over a period of time, it helps. And it's good to start foraging when the weather is best. So summer is good. It's very difficult, especially, I know there's a concept about New Year's resolution, where you start to exercise and you start to whatever. I believe now, during summer, late spring, going into summer, early autumn, is the best time to start your New Year's resolution when it comes to health and well-being and exercise, because the weather in the UK is ideal for that. But during December, when it's all cold and you know what comes with it, the frost bite and all that, it's not always ideal. But also the long night, you know, I believe that now with the days that are much longer and the weather is a lot more friendly, this is the time to make New Year's resolution for exercise. Because now you give yourself maybe the last 2 weeks in May, going into the first 2 weeks in October, couple weeks well to maximize on health improvement, because the weather affords you to do a lot more outside, because it's just more conducive, you know. But I guess, I don't know, that's what I think. In the past, I always think about New Year's resolution as starting in January, and you go jogging and the weather gets so cold, sometimes you look outside and you can't be bothered because it's just miserable and the days are short and except you go to the gym. But the gym cannot replace this, the outdoors. The gym cannot replace that, you know. Being outdoors it's an experience all to itself that a gym cannot replicate. Doesn't matter how much. If you want to pump iron and so, that's different, or do the treadmill. But we're talking about walking, jogging, etc. This is the time to do it, because just look how nice the weather is and you're out jogging. It's just so great. So in a way, foraging helps with mental health because it helps to break the cycle of depression. If you're just sitting home being depressed because you're out and about foraging, getting some vitamin D activation in your life. But also the sense of being in summer, enjoying the weather, too helps. But also, that's just my recommendation. It helps with New Year's resolution regarding improved physical and health, because the weather is more conducive in Britain for that. What about in your part of the world? The seasons might be different, but what's your experience with jogging outside, foraging? Do you have winters in your area? Do you go outside jogging during winters? What's the experience like? Do you find it a lot more helpful when you jog during summer times when the weather is warm and so forth? Please let me know. Please share, because I guess maybe experience varied with people, and collectively when people start to comment on their personal experience, then it paints a better picture. For some people it might not work during summer, but who knows? For others it might. It would be good to hear from people. Also, have you used foraging as a pastime for health improvement? Not only for sourcing organic stuff, like what I'm doing now, getting this Disproy or raspberry, but what's your overall experience during summer time? How does it help you and your health when you're outdoors? The idea is being outdoors during summer. What's your experience like? Okay, it's filling up nicely, so it's a wee beastie. You're not going to be a part of my protein today, little one. Okay, I'm just going to go through here. And get a little. Okay. Okay. Alright, that's sufficient from here. Leave the rest for other foragers. There's still plenty to be had, so that should be fine. There are some nice large ones over there, but I leave them for someone else to forage for. The forage etiquette, or foraging etiquette. Right. Let me go to another area, see if I can get some. There are plenty of blackberries over there, but I don't know if there's any strawberry dotted amidst all that. This is where when blackberries are in season, someone have to cut a path through there or through there. Welcome to the wilds, the wild, wild west. Or is it east, the wild, wild east? Or the wild, wild Midlothian? Okay, so the container is almost full, so I just need a little bit more. You hear that? How quiet it is? Apart maybe from the birds. This is what I love about walking, the peace and serenity. Yeah. Okay, here we've got some more raspberries. So I guess I can add a little bit more to my container. So I treat this as my foraging, how should I term it? Once a foraging shopping mall, foraging shopping center, so I can move around to different stores, natural raspberry stores to buy from them. buy from nature. When I said buy from nature, I'm not necessarily talking about paying money. I'm talking figuratively in the sense that I have to pay a price when I come foraging for stuff. And one of it is to help in the promotion of this region as a place to be protected, because that's as much as I can do. I am not the person who owns this park to say, yes, I'm dealing with the upkeep. I believe it's the Edinburgh Council. But at least I can promote the caretaking of it. But for me, my shopping is pretty much free. I get the perks of foraging for raspberry. Yum yum. So this is my shop. This is just one of the raspberry departments. Soon the blackberry department is opening. So there's a sign on it saying opening soon, which is in another 2 or 3 weeks. Hello. Oh yeah. So let me see now. Here's a foraging path. I just take 2 or 3 from this bit and leave the rest for others. Okay, that's enough. Leave the rest for the other foragers. Cut that. It's all washed away. Leave that for others. Get a few from here. Okay, that's that. Okay, we go to another region, leave those for others. Okay, let's see where else. Look how beautiful this region is. Wow. You remember I did some vlogs, pre-spring vlogs, but spring vlogs where I was foraging for wild leek, or at least introducing the seasonality of wild leek. As you can see, at the bottom here we've got the seeds. See, for next spring. So that's the beauty about foraging. So while one thing is out of season, the other is in. So these are all the wild leek stuff getting ready for next year. Well, not getting ready for next year. At least the seeds are at the surface. And you remember I did mention about the surface seeds then? That's how you know, because now they're all here. My best bet is there must be a way. I know. I have been experimenting. Sorry for pausing on the raspberry or the Raspberry, because the wild leek had just pop up in my vision, and I did comment on it in Little France that you get a lot of them at the surface, many wild leek seeds, and here they are. Now I've tried it in salad. So what I did, not salad, yes, potato salad. I made a potato salad and incorporated through the potato salad, and it was absolutely amazing. But what I find most amazing during spring is getting the nice tender seeds before they reach this stage, I think, when they are still fit enough. And I would incorporate it into like a tuna mayonnaise. So by then you've got wild garlic in season. So I chop finely some of the wild garlic leaves, mix it in with the tuna mayo, with some red Charlotte onions pieces, and then I'll add some of the seeds, and the flavor is amazing. I also tried it in bread. So I incorporate the seeds in bread too, and boy, that allium flavored bread because of the seeds, amazing. So it's the first time I've done it. So I'm thinking that possibly for next year, it might be considering making some recipes from the seeds, which are plentiful, as it's this plant, the wild leek, or plemungi in Oy'Nissh, is quite invasive. I only bring it up because I'm doing foraging for raspberry or Raspberry, but it's in the same area where during spring it is the wild leek that is featured. And ground elder, not so much, but mainly wild leek. So it's just a pause, just to comment on in one area how as the season changes, you're afford the possibility to forage for various stuff. So I did enjoy my time foraging for the wild leek with a little bit of ground elder, but now it is raspberries. And later on, the blackberry come into play. Can you imagine? In this one area alone. Now consider your overall health and well-being. How, well, this is just my personal experience with health and well-being, that going through the year, following the seasonal pattern, this one location I've walked it many a times, but the thing is, while foraging, I anticipate looking forward to the spring produce and then start to look towards the summer, foraging during summer. But all of it ties up nicely with exercise and being outdoors, getting fresh air, listening to the birds chirping away, singing their songs, and this overall sense of health. Listen how peaceful it is. No traffic, not many people buzzing by, and I get time to recollect, to consider, your life and some of the challenges, you face, and how to resolve it. But sometimes, if you just don't want to think about anything, this is the chance, because you can just forage and focus on foraging. So that's why I love Craigmillar Park, and the Little France Park I find is more fruitful. On the other side, where the castle is, that's where you get the ground elder and the other stuff in abundance, but also plenty of brambles or blackberry too. So I'm going to see if I can go further down to see if I can find some more raspberries to finish off. But as I said, there's just so many wild leek seeds. They're just everywhere. This is what's left of them. They're everywhere, but they're edible. I've ate them before. They're quite crunchy. Yeah, but you have to get them while they're on the plant. I think it's easier to forage for them there and then because you just pick them directly off the plant. Yeah, maybe in the future it would be about scooping some up and separate. Okay. Right. Okay, so here is another area with raspberry or disproy, and I just need as you can see my container, it's almost full, so I just need a little bit more to fill it. Just a little bit more. Oh, that's not good. They're so soft here. Oh, I've just missed now my chance of quality assurance test. Gosh, they're so soft. I think these ones must have come into season a bit earlier. Does account for softness. Probably tending or edging towards being overripe. Or they are overripe already. So it's so hard to. Yummy. Maybe there are plenty here, as I thought. Well, I think I'll have to give it a miss, but yeah. I just leave what's there. There's still plenty, but I just leave those. I just have to work with this. So, I've finished foraging for raspberries in this area, in the Craigmillar area, particularly the Little France Park, part of the district. And I've got my raspberries here, as you can see. Look how nice they are. Wow, just look at that. Wow. It's beautiful, isn't it? Unwashed, yes, but still beautiful. They're varied in size. They're not the perfect supermarket ones that you get, as you would expect with anything that you forage for, but at least, as you can see, they're worth it. Yes. So thanks for journeying along with me as I conclude the foraging vlog on raspberry or disproy in this area. Thanks for watching.